The reason that question is important is, are we still looking at this problem as something that is localized? From what
we are not.
From the feelers that a host of people are getting, and from if there's any analysis to be made, a host of people believe that Boko Haram is getting international sponsorship and have linked up with international terrorist groups. Are we also looking at that dimension as well?
Seriously, we couldn't have succeeded to this extent if that dimension is not considered. We are looking at that seriously, and we are also engaging the international community to ensure that that angle itself is dealt with.
What about the question of where are they getting their supplies from?
Well, you know Al-Shabaab, you know Al-Qaeda, you are aware of what has happened within our area here, Mali, Libya. You cannot isolate what is happening in Nigeria now from that. You cannot.
But what are we doing to respond to that situation? Like checking our borders, for instance.
There's a lot to be done in terms of raising the standard of security within our borders. No doubt about that. But more importantly is what I talked about. When I was in Ghana, I saw movement of weapons and ammunition from Ghana into Nigeria. One arrest was made. If you see the quantum of weapon and ammunition that were seized by the Ghanaian authority at that time, you'll be shocked. And if you look at the modus operandi of moving these things into our country, you will also be amazed.
Did they talk about the source?
Well, I wouldn't discuss that with you here. But yes, we did. Talked about that. And those who were arrested, how those things were picked up even within Ghana. You see, this fight is not just about Nigeria. It is about the entire West Africa. And we need to come together strongly. When your neighbor's house is on fire and you think you are protected from it, you are only deceiving yourself. It's just a matter of time before it gets to you.
Because that's why
I can recall when we were small and things were going bad in Ghana. We were beating our chests that it can never happen here in Nigeria. A few years down the line, we were also going through the same thing. I think it's about time that we come together.
Because that is what, being someone who's also experienced in international diplomacy, one would have thought that the government should also key into some of folks like yourself in seeing how they can bring the countries in the sub-region together on this fight. But very quickly, we must also look at motivation, and I know how effective motivation can actually drive people because at least we work and we see how it happens even amongst children. You can actually motivate them and spur them to do something better. How well have we done by motivating our military in this fight against the terrorists?
Let me also go back and say that Nigeria is doing a lot in bringing other West African states to the table to address this very important issue. Having said that, as a civilian, I have also asked that question severally. In fact, if you talk to the Chief of Army Staff, he will tell you Senator Obanikoro has been asking about the welfare of the men in uniform. It is very key because people with low morale cannot win any battle. It is important for our boys to know that the government is 100% with them and to ensure that their needs are attended to.
But you know, sorry to cut you there, but you know sometimes the chiefs shouldn't be the ones to even ask the questions, because sometimes you really need to ask the people on the field. Perhaps we can look out for a way where we can have, well,
I'm coming to that.
Medium where you can actually hide your identity.
I am coming to that.
Spill.
No, I am coming to that. You see, where you want discipline to be the order of the day, you must be careful with the way you engage subordinates. I want to tell you that I have asked severally and I've gotten the same response. And I've also unofficially spoken to some of our boys in Maiduguri on my own. And I got the same response given to me by the Chief of Army Staff was the same response I got in terms of their welfare. And my asking was deliberate. And I even go back to him to tell him that I've checked the information you gave me.
What about in terms of weaponry?
Well, don't forget that that is an ongoing thing. So I don't know what you're talking about when you are saying weaponry. You would not expect me to sit here with you.
But anyway, we want to break it down. No, we don't expect you to tell us that. But again,
but I want to assure you.
But again, let us in on this.
We have what it takes to hand this, and we are going to hand it.
Senator Obanikoro,
there is nowhere in the world where evil has prevailed over good.
Very quickly, and I'm sure, well, you're not amongst those politicians who don't read the papers. At least you must have seen the stories about our weaponry being as old as in the early 80s during President Shagari's administration. So without telling us what exactly it is that we have, politics. Tell us what truly it is.
Sulaiman, that is politics. We've procured almost every year. We have procured almost, don't forget, even in the military era, defense used to enjoy the largest fund in terms of budget. So, and the situation now under civilian dispensation has changed because the defense is not the dominating sector anymore. But even at that, the kind of funding that has gone into the military and the other security agencies to protect all of us is enormous. And don't be deceived. If somebody comes to you and say all these things that we have, all the APCs we bought, all those, they are not made in the 60s or in the 80s. That's not true.
Well, I'm happy you said in the course of your talk, you said, well, we are in a democracy, so the military cannot actually go outside their boundary. But it's amazing that it's coming from you, because the report also has it that you have started taking soldiers to come to Lagos to obstruct, stop people's oriented project, and not once, not twice, and but you said the soldiers can't actually go beyond.
Sulaiman, when you
did you see the report?
You can see me smiling. You see, when you elevate falsehood to another level, then that is what you have. And when the media don't take time to cross-check information given to them, then you mislead the public. Now, I'm a responsible citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I've held political offices. I was a local government chairman. I was a commissioner in this state. I was a senator representing this state. I've been an ambassador representing the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And if you go to Ghana today, I am highly respected. I lived there for 4 good years. I interacted at the highest level in Ghana. They have a lot of respect for me. By the grace of God, I am a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I cannot take the military to stop anything. I don't have such mandate, and I cannot behave in that manner. Just a week ago, we celebrated 108 years of my great-grandfather's departure from this mother earth. I'm a Lagosian to the core. My children went to school here and overseas. All of them are back in Nigeria, and precisely in Lagos State. I am a stakeholder here in Lagos. I can't do anything stupid. And when you talk about government projects to enhance the living standard of the people, I know better. As I speak to you today, Sulaiman, my mother lives in a low-cost housing. My mom, 92-year-old. I, with my children, we lived in a low-cost Alajakonde estate. So I have, even in America, I lived in a low-cost estate. So when you talk about low cost, I know what you are talking about. I am passionate about downtrodden. People like me, to be where I am today, it's like a miracle. We started from nothing.